Morning everybody. So this morning we're got a little project on the go. Still working on the old tractor. It had a bucket leveler. So when you buy a tractor new, and this one actually had it, but it must have got knocked off from the previous owner or something. So when you do some ditching or whatever with a bucket or forks with your tractor, it's hard to see from the cab if your bucket is level to the ground. So there's a little gauge on the loader arms that tells you if your bucket's level. So I'm reinstalling that this morning. I got to build a few components. I'll show you here what's going on. The boss is in the shop this morning, making sure everything's going right. Hey Buster, say hi. So this is the tractor. So the rod attaches here and goes up and it attaches on the back. There's a small pipe that should attach to the back of this. And what it does is it tells you whether your forks or your bucket is level to the ground, because it's really hard to see from the cab. You can't see the end there. So I'm going to build that component this morning. I've already started. I've got the rod. I went to get that yesterday at our local metal supplier. It's actually stainless steel. So that's the rod, which is like the gauge. And that's the hole that goes through, that goes on the first end that I showed you. That'll go on the end, and this will go through a small stainless steel pipe. And it'll tell you if your bucket or your forks are level. we've always got scrap metal laying around. I mean, any kind of decent pieces of metal. As you can see, this is my dad's shop. He's got all kinds of scrap metal. I got some in my shop. Even the smallest piece is worth something. This will be the small piece that I'll attach and the rod will go through. This is just scrap metal. It's stainless steel pipe that I used this morning, but it's really handy to have scrap metal around. You don't have to go buy. Metal is pretty expensive nowadays. Take my center punch. Works better than just having at it with the drill. And you set your hole in the center of the piece of metal, and then that drill will burr right into the center punch. When you're drilling metal, it's way easier to do this. There we go. You see that nice hole there. That drill bit will go right in there now. I need a 1/2 inch hole, or a little bit bigger than 1/2 inch. My rod's 1/2 inch, so I'll go a little bigger. But I'll drill a small pilot hole first, and then I'll change the drill bit and use a bigger drill. So I'm using about 1/4 inch drill bit there to go through that piece of metal first, and then I'll switch to my big bit. If I drill a big hole with a big bit first, it's just too much. It'll bite that metal and give me a hard time. Way easier to drill a small hole and then change the bit. I really enjoy working with metal. I mean, I can do pretty much anything with wood and stuff, and do a little bit of carpentry. But metal is just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's a challenge. I don't know. It's enjoyable. I don't know why. Just enjoy working with metal, drilling and welding and manufacturing stuff. Okay, here we go with the bigger hole. Good idea to put a little bit of lubricant too. Drilling wood and drilling metal are two different stories, I tell you. There you go. Nice clean cut. So if we have a peek, I've installed a rod here. See, this goes up and down, and so this rod's going to go up and down. So I put a hole. So the idea is this is going to be bolted here, and that hole's going to go through the rod. Now I just tried it, and that's pretty tight. That won't go up and down, you know, into that hole without binding up. So I'm gonna make that hole a little bit bigger. Drilling metal is quite a bit, you know, it's a little bit more difficult than drilling wood, but if you do it the right way, take your time and step up your drill sizes, it's actually fairly easy. Just a little more time consuming. So of course, metal's a lot harder than wood. And there you go. So we'll try this. See how that works. Yeah, that'll work good. It can't bind up, it's got to be pretty loose. So this will go here, and that'll give me an idea. It's sort of like a depth gauge type thing. So I'll take this and so it bolts through here and the rod goes through there, and I'll round that off, grind that off, and wire wheel it off and probably paint it orange like the tractor and install that. I just found a small spacer in our junk. It's nice to have stuff laying around. It's just a small plastic spacer, but I think it'll work. I'm going to stick this plastic spacer underneath there, put the bolt through it, tighten that down, and we can have a little test run here. Tighten this down. Now this should work. See what happens here. It looks pretty good. This is long, I may have to cut that after. But that rod should travel in that piece of metal when the bucket or the forks tilt. See if that works.
Je sais pas si ça va travailler.
There you have it, self-leveling loader on the Kioti DK65S. And there's the loader gauge that I just installed. If you have any questions, shoot me an email or just comment below. See you later.